You. Hi, and welcome everybody. We're here again at our latest Santa Ana Chamber Member Spotlight. Today's guest is Ryan Gestwicki of Mitra EV. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's just jump right into the interview. So tell me what made you join Mitra EV? How long have you been there too?
Uh, sure. So, quick background. I've been in the automotive business now for 15 years. I've always had a love for cars and been more than amazed by just the innovation behind them. One thing I've always valued is just kind of that continuous learning and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in automotive engineering. So this business at Matra EV really gave me the opportunity to not only continue to contribute to advancements when it comes to the goal of cutting down emissions, but really take on an opportunity of our company's overall goal, which is to electrify commercial California.
Oh, so tell me a little bit about that. So Mitra EV is more about the having an electric vehicle fleet, commercial, like.
Sure. So Mitra EV, essentially on the surface, we are a EV commercial leasing business. We help companies, small to mid-sized businesses, integrate electric vehicles into their fleet. But what's unique about our business model is we are looking to electrify commercial property at our cost. So there is zero risk to the customer. They don't have to worry about permitting when they don't have to worry about construction. We handle everything from A to Z, essentially turning empty lots into revenue sources.
Oh, I didn't know you did that.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so like for example, and I'm throwing this out there, like Bristol, there's a Bristol car wash in Santa Ana that has an empty lot. You would be working with somebody like that to maybe electrify that lot and bring in additional customers to their car wash, plus, maybe open up another revenue source. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
You're on the right track. A little different though. Those type of lots are going to be more geared toward retail charging. So there are companies out there like Rove, Electrify America. They're partnering with like grocery stores, car washes, and such. The companies that I'm looking for are really home delivery businesses who already have fleets of large vans. Because we typically understand that they're going to have the space already, not only to warehouse and store those vehicles, but they typically have pretty good lots that they own for employee parking, whether it be for just the front space for brand recognition, advertising. So typically, any business that has a fleet of vehicles, typically vans, restoration companies, home service companies, catering, even laundry companies, are typically the companies we like to go after. Because in the front end, they'll have a parking lot of maybe 25 plus spots, and we typically say, look, you've got 5 employees that work here that take up 5 spots. What do you do with all this extra space? Why not turn that into a revenue source? Because we also need the space to be able to get a 25-foot van into that lot to not only charge it, but make sure that it doesn't impede on their day-to-day business.
Understood. Understood. Okay, perfect. See, I always had a question about what you did. I can never put in my head now. Now I know exactly what you do. So, what made Mitra EV come to Santa Ana?
So the company started relatively new. It's a newer startup business, about a year or so in the making. I joined back in September, and what really caught my interest was the overall vision. As a new startup company, the brand identity has always been centered around helping companies electrify their fleets.
Hmm.
But the biggest thing is helping California commercially electrify the state. That was really what intrigued me about it. It came down to Southern California when they brought the idea of expanding. So that right now they started in Sacramento. They've got 13 projects already under construction. So those are 13 charging sites, if you will. And then they brought me on to take that mantle, if you will, and grow Southern California. So what I'm really looking to do is electrify Southern California. Looking to put in about 25 to 30 commercial charging locations.
What made you target? I mean, you joined the Santa Ana Chamber for a reason, correct? So, what made you target Santa Ana specifically and the Santa Ana Chamber?
Sure. So this market area is unique and special to us because one thing we look for are mid to small businesses. So by definition, a small business is a company that has a fleet of 20 vehicles or less. The state itself is targeting major metro areas like LA, Sacramento, San Francisco. So we look at that, okay, what areas really could need the support, A, and B, where could we be a good partner for those? So right now, I'm involved in three different chambers: Santa Ana, Irvine, and the Inland Empire. The Santa Ana Chamber is special because A, there are businesses in that area that I'm sure want to electrify their fleets, but there's no infrastructure support. So if we're going to invest our capital, why not invest in an area that I like to call almost non-prioritized? It's an area that no one is touching, no one is doing anything about it. So that's where we kind of identified. We want to go into markets that want to electrify, where we see the most opportunity. Uh, Bottom line is the state and the city are not really looking to expand their investments in the area. We are going to take up that mantle. Essentially, we're picking up the state slack.
You're
For
filling that gap, right?
yeah.
So, what kind of businesses are you targeting in Santa Ana? I know we have a large manufacturing base, a large, retail base as well. What types of businesses are you targeting?
So going back to what I call my ideal candidate profile is any business that has a fleet already, preferably pickup trucks, vans, anything of that nature, 20 or less, even more. But more importantly, it's unique that they own their own property. So ideally, we would love to help companies electrify their fleet while also electrifying their property. So we look at it, it goes hand in hand. But also, we also understand that there are other businesses that may lease or rent their property. So for the customer who owns the property, they become a charging hub, but essentially they're doing a more good than they realize because now they have a location for all these surrounding businesses around who don't have the luxury of owning the property but want electric vehicles. Now they know where to go. They know they have the space, and it really breaks down that range anxiety.
Understood. Okay, perfect. Now you said you joined three chambers, right? And I'm going to focus, of course, on the Santa Ana Chamber. So,
Sure.
how has being part of the Santa Ana Chamber helped your business grow or connect with the businesses in the community here in Santa Ana?
Sure. So, I'm still relatively somewhat of a new member for the Santa Ana Chamber of Commerce, but I will say that through the Santa Ana Chamber, I have met so many good people that are not all necessarily a quote business lead, but everybody has been a good business connection. It's through these various network events that the Santa Ana Chamber has held that I've been able to build my own pipeline that continues to expand and grow.
Amazing. Is there a let's again bring it back to the community. Is there a local nonprofit or some sort of community project that the Mitra EV focuses on or is kind of supporting?
So above all, I would say that we are looking to support not only the local chambers. Our number one project, of course, is to electrify the Santa Ana market. So I look at it when I look at the chamber, I look at it as business helping businesses, but also how do we keep the investments here? How do we keep the revenue here? How do we grow the business community here? And I think MyTrV is going to be a very integral part in creating hopefully new opportunities to come to this area, make it attractive for those businesses who have electrified their fleets, have nowhere to go. So if you're a new business owner, say you're moving in and you're like, hey, I've got an EV fleet. What areas supports that? So that's what I'm really looking to do for Santa Ana is electrify and create new opportunities. But we also look for other ways to support the Santa Ana community through supporting local restaurants or business meetings. Whenever I'm in the market, I typically try to bring my business meetings to local places like Spoon's Grill. Is a local favorite spot for Santa Ana, along with some of these other businesses that I have met. But I also serve as an ambassador with the Santa Ana Chamber as well, promoting the program to anybody I have, even all the way up to the Inland Empire. I have brought guests from this area saying, look, this is a great chamber. Someone who's involved in multiple chambers. I really think you owe it to yourself to check these guys out as well.
Nice, nice. So now that you're a local Santa Ana member, what's your go-to coffee spot? I know you mentioned Spoon or or lunch haunt? Spoons. What else?
So
Else can you recommend?
I have to confess, I'm not the biggest coffee drinker. My regimen in the morning, right now I'm on a pretty strict one, especially for my workout regimen. The only caffeine I'll have for me is maybe like a half of a 5 hour shot. But my wife, on the other hand, she's the coffee drinker, so she could probably comment better on that. Other than that, I could probably say I'll stop in at the local Starbucks.
Oh yeah, so let's turn it around a little bit. What about your local other than Spoons, your local lunch or dinner spot that you take clients to or potential clients?
Honestly, I really kind of leave it up to them. Spoons has been kind of a popular favorite spots. I know there's been a couple hotels in the area that I've gone to. There's the Embassy Suites right there that I've gone to a few times. I've also been down there for a couple of events. But as someone who is constantly on the road, I always look for something new. Again, being relatively new, I haven't really found that favorite spot because honestly, all the spots have been great in their own shape or form. So
I recommend
I,
trying downtown. Drive there one day and just there's several good spots in the downtown area. Okay, so let's taking it back to Mitra EV. Well, maybe even take it back personally. What's your biggest goal for Mitra EV in the next 2 to 3 years?
Sure. So over the next 2 to 3 years, our number one goal is to electrify. Our business plan is to electrify the entire state, again, of California. That is something we are looking to do in the next 2 to 3 years. And if we can accomplish that, our next goal is to take that business model and expand into other states. Some of the other states are what we call ZEP states or zero emission vehicles.
Hmm.
States like Utah, Colorado. I think we're also targeting Arizona. Uh, Out there in the East Coast, Florida, Georgia, because the one thing that we are learning is as we continue to grow our footprint, more and more businesses seem to come up saying we need infrastructure. What does Mitra EV have in place? Where else are you guys looking to expand that we could potentially build a partnership with?
Nice, nice. So if you were to give advice to somebody just starting out a new business here in Santa Ana, what kind of advice would you give that person?
I would say number one, be passionate about what you do and continue to be a student of that particular business. I think that really does come across more than not. If you love what you do, people are going to feed into your passion. They're going to want to talk to you. They can hear it in everything you do. But more importantly, when you continue to learn, means continue to grow. That's something that I've always instilled in myself.
A great answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, if you could partner, and I'm gonna put you on the spot here, if you could partner with any local organization or business here in Santa Ana, who would it be and why?
Honestly, I've had the pleasure of already talking to a few, so I can answer this one. I would love to partner with a couple of organizations. Number one, the Clean Cities, or there's another group called SCAG, which is the Southern California Association of Government.
Hmm.
These are coalitions focused on the advancements of clean energy programs, exactly what we do. And they also are partnering with Electrify America. For us, our awareness, I think, is the most important thing that we're trying to get out, and through those type of partnerships, we can, I think, do a lot more good sooner than later.
Nice. Now you're kind of, you're basically in sales, right?
Mhm.
So if you weren't doing this, what else would you be doing?
Well, I will say that I'll tell you. Let me start with a quote that my father once used to tell me. He's always said, you work to live, you don't live to work. Um, Two things I've always had a passion for is cars and golf. So I guess I could say if automotive didn't work out for me, I guess I would try the path of maybe like a PGA teacher or maybe a tech, something in the golf realm, because that's another thing that I do enjoy outside of work.
How often do you golf?
Right now, if I'm lucky, I try to play once a month. Try to go to the range once a week, but I do play quite competitively. And in fact, actually won the LA City Amateur B Flight 2 years ago.
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's awesome. That's amazing. And you see, we found out something new that we didn't know about you.
Yep.
So thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you can just quickly just tell us how somebody could get a hold of you and Mitra EV.
Sure. So they can reach out to me one of two ways, directly through my cell phone, 843-323-1323. It's through the Santa Ana Chamber. I'm always responsive. You can also email me directly at Ryan at mitra-ev.com. My information is all on the Santa Ana Chamber. It's also on the Irvine Chamber, Inland Empire Chamber. So not hard to get a hold of. I'm always accessible. My phone's with me 24/7. Anyone who's got a business who wants to learn a little bit more about how they can integrate EVs into their fleets, or are interested in just being part of our charge partnership, love to talk to them, or even just to grab a cup of coffee with me and just say, hey, listen, from one member to another, just love to meet you. I'm always up for that. One thing about sales and marketing is you always are meeting people, and that's something another passion of mine, that I've always enjoyed, is just meeting people, more importantly, hearing their background, seeing what they do, seeing what makes them tick. But it's interesting, more than not, more people don't realize how effective one business is to another. As in the end of the day, we're all the same community. We all have a goal, and I think as long as we look out for one another, everyone wins.
Great, great answer. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for joining us today at our latest member spotlight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.